Imagine this, you are only 25 years old, while most of your friends are buried in student debt, barely paying rent, and chasing jobs they don't even like. You're already financially free. No alarm clock you hate, no boss controlling your life, no fear about bills or survival. Just freedom. The freedom to wake up and decide how you spend your day, where you live, and who you share your time with. For many people, this sounds like a dream, almost impossible. But the truth is, it's not only possible, it's already being done by thousands of young people around the world. The real question is not, is it possible, but rather, are you willing to do what it takes to make it possible? And in this video, we're going to break down the path to financial freedom at 25, not with fantasies or fake promises, but with raw truth, proven strategies, and the mindset shifts you need to escape the trap most people never escape in their lifetime. Financial freedom at such a young age does not happen by accident. Nobody wakes up one day at 25 with millions in the bank, a passive income system, and total control of their life without a plan. It's not about luck, and it's not about some magical secret. It's about brutal clarity, discipline, and choices that most people are simply not willing to make. To understand how it's possible, you need to first understand what financial freedom really means. It does not always mean being a millionaire. It does not mean driving a Lamborghini or living in a mansion. Financial freedom means that the money you make passively, without trading your hours, is enough to cover your lifestyle. That could be $2,000 a month, or $20,000 a month. The number depends on your goals, your cost of living, and your personal definition of freedom. Some people achieve it by cutting expenses, living lean, and building small streams of income online. Others achieve it by aggressively investing, scaling businesses, and living big. But the foundation is always the same. Financial freedom is when your money works harder for you than you work for money. Now let's be brutally honest, the system we grow up in is not designed to make you free by 25. It's designed to make you dependent until you're 65. Go to school, take loans, get a job, pay bills, retire when you're old and tired. That's the script. That's the plan. If you follow the system blindly, freedom at 25 is not just unlikely, it's impossible. So if you want freedom early, you must be willing to go against the script. You must be willing to think differently, act differently, and most importantly, sacrifice differently. The years between 18 and 25 are not years to waste. They are not years to figure it out slowly. They are the years to push harder than anyone else, to build, to learn, to invest, and to take risks when your responsibilities are still low. That window is your advantage. If you waste it on comfort, you will pay for it in decades of slavery to the paycheck. If you use it wisely, you can buy your freedom before most people even start their careers. So how do people actually do it? Let's look at the patterns. Young people who achieve financial freedom by 25 almost always focus on three things: aggressive skill building, relentless creation of income streams, and intelligent reinvestment. First, skill building. If you're 18, 19, or 20 right now, your single most valuable resource is not money, it's skills. High-income skills are the fastest way to separate yourself from the average. Copywriting, digital marketing, coding, sales, investing, content creation, these are skills that can bring in thousands of dollars monthly, not in decades, but within months if you take them seriously. Unlike a degree that promises something after 4 years, skills can be monetized immediately in the real world. And once you have skills, you can move to the second step, creating income streams. That means freelancing, starting a business, investing in digital products, building online content, flipping assets, or even e-commerce. The key is not just having one source of income, but building multiple, so that if one fails, the others sustain you. And finally, reinvestment. This is where most people fail. They earn money and spend it. The ones who reach freedom reinvest money into assets that keep paying them. Real estate, dividend stocks, online businesses, intellectual property, things that pay you again and again. That's how compounding works. At 20, every dollar you invest has decades to grow. At 40, you already lost that leverage. That's why the earlier you start, the greater the power of compounding becomes. But let's be clear, none of this is easy. Financial freedom at 25 is not for everyone. It requires obsession. It requires saying no to parties, no to comfort, no to short-term fun, and yes to years of grinding while everyone else is wasting their time. You will face doubt, criticism, and even your own inner voice telling you it's not worth it. Most of your friends won't understand you. Your family might think you're crazy. But those who achieve freedom early are the ones who refuse to live like everyone else. They don't wait for permission. They don't wait for the system to give them security. They take it by force. And that's why they are free while others are trapped. Now, let's address the biggest misconception. People think financial freedom means you have to be rich. That's wrong. Freedom is not a number. It's a ratio between your passive income and your expenses. If you live on $2,000 a month and you build $2,000 of passive income, you're free. That's it. You don't need $1 million in the bank. You don't need to wait decades. You only need enough to cover your life. And from there, you can scale. The beauty is, once you hit financial freedom, even at a small level, the game changes completely. You no longer work out of desperation, you work out of choice. And when you work out of choice, you become even more powerful, because you're no longer a slave to money, you're a master of it. So, is financial freedom at 25 really possible? Yes, but only for the few who are willing to do what most won't. It requires clarity of vision, obsession with growth, discipline with money, and courage to take risks. It requires you to see the next 5 years not as time to waste, but as the most valuable opportunity you'll ever have. And it requires you to define freedom for yourself, not for society, not for Instagram, not for fake influencers, but for you. The path is not easy, but it is simple. Build skills, create income streams, reinvest relentlessly, and buy back your time. If you do this with focus and urgency, financial freedom at 25 stops being a dream. It becomes your reality. Because the truth is, time will pass anyway. 5 years will go by whether you take action or not. The only question is, when you turn 25, will you still be struggling to pay bills, or will you already be free? The choice, right now, is in your hands.